I have 9 books to share with you. If you're new here, I'm Paris. This is my channel, Paris Me Reads, and I read and review books from a biblical worldview, and I specifically explain the content in books so you are not left guessing on whether a book would be a right fit for you or not. We have had the flu for like 8 to 10 days, and I read a lot of books because we were all just couch potatoes and surviving. Here's 6 of the 9 books that I read, and I'm excited to talk through these. They are all over the place, per usual. I'm gonna do full reviews. There's some new titles, there's some classics, there's an indie author. Yeah, we've got some good ones. Hopefully my reviews will help you decide if you wanna add these to your growing TBR or not. I'm gonna start lowest to highest star rating, which is what I normally do, but I wanna know, do you think I should switch and start doing my top stars first? Like, should I start with 5 stars and work my way down? Or is starting low and ending on a high note the best way? Until I hear from you, I'm gonna keep my normal low to high rating. Diving into my 3-star category, I have 1 3-star book. This one was really disappointing because I love this author and I've read 3 other books by her and love them, recommend them. But this most recent one just fell flat, and that is The Bell Tolls at Traeger Hall by Jamie Jo Wright. I actually got sent this by the publisher. I got an early reader copy. All of the books I've read of hers so far are dual timeline. I don't know if that is like across the board her normal for every book, but the ones that I have read are all dual timeline, and this one was no exception. It still was dual timeline, and I think what hung me up on it is just the past timeline. It was like 100 years in the past. I just was not super interested in it at all. It felt a little bit repetitive and slow moving, and the love interest felt kind of forced. It just was a miss for me. Again, love this author and recommend her books, but maybe just not this one. My favorite one by her is Spectres in the Glass House, and it's set in October, and it is like the perfect fall suspense read. So there you go. Add that to your fall TBR. My quick takes are 3 out of 5 stars. Genre is Christian suspense. I will say on this one, the Christian part of it, I think, is just because the author is a Christian and the publisher is a Christian publisher. This book did not have like very many faith themes, if any at all. Maybe a couple mentions of God or faith in some capacity, but it was not a recurring theme throughout. So really just a suspense novel that you know has Christian values in it. Yeah, that's my little asterisk. Language is none. Spice is kisses only. And content is past inferred, child abuse, death, murder, and cancer. My single 4-star book is Peril at End House by Agatha Christie. Yes, I have been consuming Agatha Christie, and not just consuming, but living and breathing and eating and devouring and binging Agatha Christie. That is where I'm at in my Agatha Christie journey. I already was obsessed with her, but I don't know if it's just because I'm reading more older books now. Like, I recently realized that Agatha Christie is considered a classical author. I don't know if it's just being in more of her books and less modern, like current day books. I just love them. I am still trying to formulate like what it is, but reading her books has made me realize I want to read more old books. And I actually, I'll talk about that later when I get to my, what I'm currently reading, but I want to read a lot more classics this year, especially because I'm realizing that I love them on audio. I love classics on audio. Like, I am becoming obsessed with audiobooks of classics. So reading Peril at End House, this is the first of 3 Agatha books in this roundup. So 3 out of 9, a third of my books are Agatha Christie books. This one specifically, I gave 4 stars because I wasn't really into the plot until around 50%. I also am realizing that the narrator, Hastings, I just can't get on board with him. Some of the comments he makes, I'm like, bro, you're married, all right? Let's quit noticing pretty girls. Which actually I feel like is a whole nother, I really want to look up information on why she wrote Hastings that way, and just the narrative on women in the time period that she was writing and how they were, like, obviously she has books with female detectives. And one of the books I'm going to talk about actually had a female helping pro, and I loved that. And it's just interesting how Hastings has this view of women. Usually a pro has some snarky remarks that belittle Hastings, and they're my favorite, and this book was no exception. He was on a tear, and he had some really great one-liners. Christie was feeling spicy about Hastings' character in this book. Pro was giving it to him, and it was so fun. So I wasn't really interested in this plot until about 50%, and then the female who's like the main person who they think is gonna get murdered, she just was not my favorite. She was not super likable to me. That's why I gave this one a 4. But otherwise, I had no clue what the ending was going to be. I didn't see it coming. I did get a couple of clues. My quick takes on this are 4 out of 5 stars. Genre is murder mystery. Language is mild and God seem in vain. Spice is none. And content is, look, I'm doing this all from memory. All the Agatha ones are exactly the same. Content is inferred suicide and murder. Kicking off my 4.25 category is The Mystery of the Blue Train. And I'm slowly buying up. I say slowly because I was reading them slowly, but now all of a sudden in the past 9 books, I've read 3 of her books. So my purchasing has not caught up with my reading, but I'm trying to buy these books as I read them to grow my Agatha Christie library. And I don't have Peril In-House yet because that was the last one that I read. But I bought this one off of Pango, which is fun because this is the cover I wanted, and Pango had one. I actually listened to all of these on audio, and the audiobook was a square. So it was like this. And then when I saw the full cover and you see the skull at the bottom, I just love that. So I got the cover I liked and got to buy a used book in the process. And this one is in really great shape. This book does not have Hastings in it, and I loved that. The first 30%, Poirot is nowhere to be seen. We're getting introduced to all the different key players and characters that are in the plot. And so you're trying to figure out like, okay, who's doing what? Who do we think's gonna murder who? You know, like setting the stage. And then on the blue train where the murder takes place is when Poirot enters the chat. This is the book I was talking about that has the female character that's helping him. That was a really fun dynamic that we haven't seen yet in any of her Poirot books yet to this point. So I really enjoyed that. Also really love her train murder mysteries. I guess though the only other one that I've read is Murder on the Orient Express, but it was like such a formative read for me. And I'm almost to the point, let me see. Yeah, I'm only 2 titles away. So I have Lord Edgware Dies, which is the next one, and I would have already read it, but Libby didn't have it available. I'm still on hold to get the audio. And then Murder on the Orient Express is next. So I'm about to reread Murder on the Orient Express. I love her train mysteries, like her timetables and like all the little details that go in to the train murders is just fascinating to me. And so I really loved that this one was on a train. Quick takes on The Mystery of the Blue Train are 4.25 out of 5 stars. Genre is murder mystery. Language is mild and God's name in vain. Spice is none. And content is murder and extramarital affair. Next in my 4.25 is a romance. And this is not just a romance. This is a Christian fiction hockey romance. This is so niche and I love it. Unlike the suspense novel, this has very strong faith themes. Not just strong faith themes as in faith is talked about, but strong faith themes as like the male main character is actively coming to Christ and asking hard questions throughout the plot. And the female main character has beautifully written, grace-filled responses for him. And I think that that's so formative for readers to see in writing. Like, oh, if someone asked me that, this is the type of answer that I could give them. And I'll have this and all the books that I'm talking about linked below. Those are all commission links. Always happy when you help support my channel. And those links are a small way to do that. This was an early copy I got from the publisher. Like I said, so niche, strong faith, asking deep, hard questions with beautiful answers. There's also a really fun juxtaposition of like her family. She has 2 sisters and they were so dramatic. I felt like I was watching a reality TV show. They were really fun. I don't have any sisters, so I really liked getting, like a seat at the table with them. But her family was so over the top and I loved it. This is actually going to be a standalone interconnected series, and book 2 is going to be her younger sister. And then part of the plot is that her older sister, who is married now, used to date him. So it is her sister's ex-boyfriend. That just adds to the drama because, girl code and all that. My quick takes are 4.25 out of 5 stars. Genre is Christian fiction, hockey, romance. Language is none. Spice is kisses only, and content is toxic family relationships and visual impairment. The final book in my 4.2 star category is In the Wake of the Wicked by V.B. Lacey. This is a chonker. Can you even? This is an indie author. Like, girl, yes. I love thick books. I'm not gonna be able to hold this because it's so heavy. I'm gonna stick a picture right here. V.B. Lacey actually sent this book to me. She reached out to me and was so generous. She actually offered me the audiobook and also sent me a physical copy as well. And if that is not speaking my love language, I don't know what is, because that is my whole reading personality. Let's see, let's actually review this bad boy. Unfortunately, I did not love the audio. I did listen to the entire audio, but at around like 25 to 30%, I just stop and say, do I actually like this book or do I just not like the narrator? So it has male and female point of view chapters, and there was a male and female narrator, which I'm so glad that she did it that way. I prefer That in a romance book that has dual point of view. However, the female narrator, I was not jiving with her. And that could just be my personal taste. Like you could listen to a sample of it and have no issue with her. And that, I love that for you. I wish that I had that reading experience, but I just couldn't deal with her voice and inflections. Even like sped up really fast when you would think maybe those get lost a little bit. They don't. So I actually took a break from the audio for like 2 or 3 chapters and read with my eyes and realized, yes, I do love the writing style, interested in the plot. Like, let's keep going. And I'm just going to ignore the female narrator. The male narrator was fine. I didn't have any issues with him. This book felt like a mashup of The Hunger Games and Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which I'm about to read. But I wasn't truly sucked into the plot. And again, this could have been because of the narrator, but I wasn't truly sucked into the plot until the 50% mark. And then I was like sucked in. I'm just like not a big romantasy reader. So I can't decide if I want to keep going reading the rest of the series or not. Yeah, I ended up really enjoying it. I just wish that it was a different narrator for the audio. My quick takes are 4.25 out of 5 stars. Genre is romantasy. Language is mild to moderate. Spice is closed door, and I actually have an asterisk to this. So I realized reading this book that when someone says a book is closed door, and it's like a closed door romance book, so you know that sex is implied, but it's not on page and it's not explicit. I'm realizing the more, because I'm not a romance reader, and I'm realizing the more romance I read, I don't like reading themes that don't align with a biblical worldview, like sleeping around and sex before marriage and that type of thing. And this book had that. I just think I had just read Hearts on the Fly. It was like very intense and good Christian fiction. And then I was reading In the Wake of the Wicked, and there is like crass innuendo. And at the beginning, the female main character is in like an on again, off again relationship with like a random side character that pops up at the beginning and literally adds nothing to the plot. But she knows that he sleeps around with other girls and she's fine with it. And they're sleeping together like whenever he decides he wants to sleep with her type thing. I'm realizing I don't like reading that type of narrative. That was an interesting, like, yes, this is closed door, but we're not getting the same values that you would find in a book like this. So, or another book I'm about to talk about in my 5 stars. Just want to say that about my closed door. So it is closed door, so there's not any explicit sexual content. I'm just going to read the content because there's a lot. Content is death, violence, childhood trauma, casual sleeping around, and crass innuendo. My one book in the 4.5 star genre is an Agatha Christie, and that is The Big Four. This book actually was one that whenever I talk about Agatha Christie, people would say they really liked this one, and I can see why. We're still in Hercule Poirot. Hastings is in this one, but it is so different than the other Poirot books, and it's more fast-paced. This is like murder mystery on an international scale. The Big Four is referencing 4 key players around the globe that are like controlling the black market and organized crime and stuff like that. It was like a whole nother side of Poirot that you saw glimpses of in the short stories in Poirot Investigates. I loved a whole book dedicated to this type of story. And again, faster pacing. And it was kind of fun too, because like you end up knowing throughout the plot and figuring out who the key players are, but not like how they're doing it or how he's going to catch them doing it. And so there's still an added sense of like intrigue and mystery. And again, like didn't see the ending coming at all. She totally got me. The ending's super wild. Highly recommend this one if you're looking for just a one-off Agatha Christie that you want to pick up. I really liked this one. My quick takes are 4.5 out of 5 stars. Genre is murder mystery. Language is mild. God's name in vain. Spice is none. And content is murder. Let's see if there's another content. No, that's it. Content is murder. Okay, starting off the 5 stars with a magical book. This is the next book in the Harry Potter full cast audio series, and that is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And I just am loving these books. I cannot gush enough about them. They are on Audible only. So if you want a free trial of Audible to get these titles, I will link that below along with all the other books. And then let's see, free trial of Audible, free trial Kindle Unlimited. You can always find those in my caption. And then all the books with shoppable links that I have talked about in this video. This book was super fun because we are introduced to new characters. So there's new voice actors, and that is Professor Trelawney, Lupin, and Sirius Black. Love Lupin. Love Sirius Black. Also, Professor Trelawney was so fun. Her voice actor was like all over the place, which totally embodies her character. So I loved it. Remus and Sirius were both like the voice actors were really good and it was really well done. So far the only voice actor I'm not enjoying is Snape. And I don't know if that is just because Alan Rickman ruined that role for all of us because he just did such a good job. And the voice that they cast for Snape could not be different from Alan Rickman's voice. So a lot of the other voices sound like the people and actors and actresses that were cast in the Harry Potter movies. And so it's easy to make the connections in your brain, but Snape absolutely is not the same at all. So his is the only voice I'm struggling. But now that I'm through 3 books, I'm used to hearing his voice and know that like, oh yeah, that's Snape. But the first book, I literally was like, who's talking? Oh yeah, that's Snape. But yeah, I'm really enjoying audiobooks. Mr. Reads and I, he's still reading, but he's towards the end of this one, but we kind of read it around the same time, which was fun. My quick takes on this are 5 out of 5 stars. Genre is middle grade fantasy. Language is none. Spice is none. And content is past, death, and murder, and violence. Okay, next is The Library After Dark by Andy Pliego. And if you've been around the block here, you know that I am a huge fan of her debut thriller, You Are Fatally Invited. And this is her second novel. This is like the perfect mashup of thriller, fantasy, and like a little bit of like a dash of horror. It was so creepy. I don't remember the last time I read a book that I was so creeped out at night. And this should have been like a during the day, lights on, all the windows are open so I can see outside with the sun coming in type book. But unless we're all sick from the flu, which I read this before we got the flu, I don't have time to sit and read during the day. So I was reading it at night before bed. And oh my word, I was so creeped out. And I loved it. Like low-key loved how creeped out I was by this book. And I loved the mashup, like a really fun, like Grimm's fairy tale thing happening. And she even has little fairy tales that she's added in throughout the plot. And so I just like really enjoyed all the little details. The only nitpick I have is that it does not have as strong of a redemption arc compared to her first book. And I loved that so much about her first book. It still does not have the super strong language that you find in the current thriller market. Still some, but not as strong of an arc as the first book. So that's my only nitpick, but like 5 stars, I loved it. She is truly ruining thrillers for me, and I am so happy about it. Highly recommend reading her first book, You Are Fatally Invited, if you are interested in picking up a murder mystery / thriller mashup. And then this one again is like a little bit of horror, thriller, fantasy. Loved it. My quick takes are 5 out of 5 stars. Genre is thriller. Language is frequent, moderate. Spice is none / also there's some kissing. Content is on-page graphic, murder, and death. My final book, another Christian fiction. And I was so surprised by this book in the best way. And this is actually the second book in a series, and that is Love in the Castle Library. The first book is Christmas in the Castle Library. It came out last year, and I read it around Christmas time last year, and I really enjoyed it, but I loved this book. I mean, like, Christmas in the Castle Library was her fictional debut, and you can tell, like, her writing's just gotten better. I don't know, she, like, totally hit it out of the park. I also listened to this on audio, so the author actually sent this to me, and then I waited, because again, the whole, like, I can't read books. I just can't read with my eyes anymore because my toddlers don't let me do that. And it's not the stage I'm in. So I actually found the audio on Libby. My library had it, and I waited for it. I had to wait a while for it to come up, and which is great. I'm glad that there was a lot of interest in this title. So I finally got it, and the narrator is fantastic. I mean, like, amazing. The first couple sentences, she starts it off because it's like French, and her French accent is unreal. And this is actually dual point of view. So there's a male and a female point of view in this book, and there's only one narrator. And this is one of those few select times that I think the female narrator like actually was fine for the male point of view. She had a really great English accent for him, and it was really successful. But I just like cannot get over this narrator. I can't remember who did it. Pause, let me find this on Libby. It's narrated by Marnie Penning. I need to look at more books by her that she narrates because wow. But I have so much to say about this book. Again, strong faith themes. And again, we're asking hard questions like, where do I find my identity? What does God look like as a father? Not just like an authority figure or someone to be believed. Does he truly have good in store for me? Does he want good for me? Does he love me as his child? I mean, we're asking hard questions, and I loved it. There's also like both characters are believers, which I think you could easily read this and be like, this is so over the top because like it is literally so Christian, but I loved it. And they are both praying throughout the narrative, like multiple prayers in a single chapter. They pray together. There's also on page scripture and verses. I don't know. I just loved it so much. This is also a really great mashup of like romance and historical fiction and like fun mystery. If you haven't read the first book, highly recommend. If you don't want to read it because it's not Christmas right now, totally get that. These are an interconnected standalone, and she is going to be having a third book. I don't know who I could guess who the third book is going to be about because there's another friend. So I'm assuming it follows her story, and it kind of sets up for that at the end of the book. So I assume that's who she'll be following, but I don't have that confirmed. So I'm not going to say anything. If you can get this on audio, like do it. It is phenomenal. So highly recommend the audio. My quick takes are 5 out of 5 stars. Genre is Christian romance. Language is none. Spice is kisses only. Content is past death of family members and cancer. I think. I don't have cancer on my notes, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. What am I currently reading? I'm so glad that you asked. I'm reading 2 chonkers. Hello. Both on audio because I have a problem. First one is Anna Karenina. I just started this yesterday. I'm actually trying to do a vlog on this, so hopefully you'll see a vlog at some point on here. Maybe this was a terrible book to do a vlog on because it's really long. I don't know how to vlog. Okay, did I mention that I'm just making this up as I go along? My first impressions of this are very take the log out of your own eye. Russian aristocratic drama is what we are getting out of this. These are the vibes. And then the other book I'm currently reading is The Time of Courage by John Gwynne. And this is the third and final book in the trilogy of Blood and Bone. And this postdates his 4-book series, The Faithful and the Fallen, which starts with the book Malice. So if you have not read those, do not read these. They do need to be read, I firmly believe, in order. But I am hoping, I'm like a third of the way through this. So I'm hoping to be done with this one sooner, probably than Anna Karenina. And I would say that you could expect to see these in my next roundup video of book reviews. But I honestly, like, they're huge, so I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to finish these. But oh, I am listening to this on audio. Maggie Gyllenhaal narrates, and it is included in your Audible subscription. So you can listen to it for free. And then this one I used a credit on, but yeah, that's what I'm currently reading. If you found this helpful, I would love for you to stick around and watch some more of my videos. You can click on my picture right here to subscribe to my channel, and that just makes sure you see all my videos on your feed when they pop up. If you want to see a video where I only am talking about my favorite 5-star books, I have my top books from 2025 video. I would love for you to check that out. That is one of my favorite videos to film out of the whole year, is my like yearly wrap up where all the books are 5 stars, and they're just so fun to talk about because they were all amazing books. So would love for you to check that out, and you can click on this video right here to do that. And until next time, I hope all of your reads are 5 stars.